Hello, everyone, and welcome to TwillowStache. This is our monthly Twillow Talk with one of our awesome friends, Gerald from TarotStache.
Glad to be here.
TwillowStache.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. So I'm Tanys Coughlin. I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Tchaikovsky.
Hello, hello.
And, of course, our awesome third co-host,
TarotStache, and
from TarotStache.
all of our links are in the description below.
All those.
So all of those. So
You'll even see TarotStache Printify.
Oh,
right.
You can get some merch if you want. Yeah. You know, because it's always good to know that you're for entertainment purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
Which we are.
Yes.
So welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everybody.
Let's say hello to a few people. We have Fogo Pogo. Hey, Kaylee. Welcome, welcome. And we have Hypnocity. Welcome, Melanie. How's it going? And we have TarotStache, who says howdy, everyone, which you have said howdy, everyone. So welcome, everyone. So shall we jump right into our forecasts and all of that business?
I say do it.
Let's do it. All right, here we have, I'm starting with the KP index today. So you can see we had a little bit of an elevated KP index there over the weekend. And a little bit there. We seem to be leveled out a little bit more today, meaning in the green as opposed to up here, right? We were up at 6 and stuff. We're back down again into our normal range. In terms of solar flares, we had one little blip up here, which was an M3. The rest has been all Cs, which has been fairly calm for us in recent history. And then our Schumann. Again, we had a little bit of a blip here, so that would have been equivalent to that M class. And it's been, kind of just staticky. Having said that, though, there's been a lot of downloads, galactic downloads, with lots of neutrinos coming in.
Oh, those neutrinos.
Oh, those neutrinos. Yes, we did have a CME hit on Saturday. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That was from that larger M class as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for bringing that forward, Kaylee. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's just more neutrinos.
It is. And how about telling us the flavor of those neutrinos, please, with your forecast?
Absolutely. So, the flavor flav that we are in right now
Here we go.
is the Gate 61. Now, the Gate 61 is about inner truth and mystery. And so this gate brings us through energetically the shadow of psychosis to the Siddhi or enlightened state of sanctity through the gift of inspiration. And so what does that look like? That looks like our mind getting caught up in all kinds of fun stuff. So the idea here is that our mind becomes very occupied with different things. The energy is allowing us to go inward, and this can be a very mystical frequency, and it governs our relationship with truth and mystery, but it also embodies a little bit of this pressure to know. And so the Gate 61 really lives in the realm of the unknowable. And this is the place where the mind strains to understand reality, existence, and meaning. And yet ultimately it has to surrender to inner revelation rather than external proof. And this is really hard for the mind. We get so caught up in the mental processing and trying to figure it all out. And this is not a mental key. It's very much a Gnostic one. And so this transit, it draws our consciousness inward, amplifying the questions about truth and purpose and the nature of reality. And so right now, energetically, it's really interesting. So we talked about this a little bit last week in terms of where we are energetically and the fact that we are still in transition, right? We've got 3 transitions that we're going through in this new year. So the first one was the Gregorian calendar, the 9-to-1 energy. But the beginning of this one energy is still shedding. And it's going to continue to shed until February. And so this in-between time is still a time of figuring everything out. And so we may feel this pressure right now to have to answer these really deep questions. And these are definitely themes that I see even coming up with clients, these existential questions of like, what is going on? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? How do I figure this all out? Mm-hmm. So the pressure is there to resolve the mystery. And so what we need to do is really figure out, like, how do I handle this tension? And how do I allow myself to sit in the unknown? Because this shadow energy, this psychosis, comes in when I have to understand it all, and I have to understand it all right now, right? This is the victim of the obsessive mind. And we can either end up disenchanted. So a lot of that, like, low, whatever, there's no meaning, there's no purpose. What am I doing anyway? To that fanatical, like, it has to be like this and I have to know and I have to figure it out, right? So, how do we, move through this energy? I think it's really important for us to understand that just because we have a thought doesn't mean that it's real. It doesn't mean that there's any premise behind it. It doesn't mean that it holds any power. And the more that we are able to recognize the obsessive thinking, the looping questions, even the potential of, mistrust in our own perception, because truly, if everything is being filtered, we can have that mental overwhelm and confusion. And we realize that that may become problematic in the way that we're trying to resolve something. We may also see like spiritual bypassing or inflated certainty. So just if these things are coming up, if you're noticing them within yourself or within somebody else, really take that step back, take a breath and go, okay. Revelation comes through stillness. This is inspiration. This is the gift energy of this transit. This is where if we can kind of take those thoughts and let them go, we can have sudden clarity without explanation. We have the ability to have that deeper recognition, right? We can know something. This is the gnosis. We can know something without needing to justify it or explain it. It's that creative spiritual insight that can just flow through us. And so, we want to open to that mental spaciousness. And that takes really being present with whatever it is that's showing up for us. So if you're feeling that pressure, it's like, okay, pressure, I feel you. I recognize that you're there, but I want to make some spaciousness within me. So I'm going to honor the fact that, yeah, brain, you do your thing, but open and curious, as I say all the time, right? I want to just hold space for what else is possible here and see how that shows up for me, right? So some questions for this week is, where am I pressuring myself to know or understand something prematurely, right? It's okay to want to understand it, but that need to figure it all out right now, that can become overwhelming, right? How do I respond to uncertainty? What comes up for me? Am I curious? Am I anxious? Can I trust? Right? And noticing, like, okay, if how I handle uncertainty feels uneasy within me, how can I shift that? And if it feels good, curiosity and trust, how can I expand on that? Okay, so the affirmation for this one is, I trust the wisdom that arises from stillness. Truth reveals itself when I soften into the mystery.
Wow.
To be okay with not knowing.
Mm-hmm. Right?
That's a tough one.
I know I quote it so often, the Tao, right? But not knowing is true knowledge. Perceiving that we know is a disease. So being able to really stay in that place of not knowing allows inspiration to come in. It's okay that I don't know. Now what?
I think I've said that a few times today. It was the day for things that came up, and I was like, I don't know what to do with that. And I'm okay with that.
And there you go. I put the affirmation in the chat there.
Beautiful. See, I have a couple of comments here. So Kaylee said, oh, eggshelly for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. And I think it's such an important piece, right? Like feeling that this week. And so many of us are feeling that. And so knowing like, okay, this is a collective energy. I don't need to think like I'm having psychosis here. It's okay.
We're all having psychosis, so it's all
We're
good.
all in that energy.
It's like when I call Jen, am I going crazy? She's like, well, if we are, we're going together. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you going crazy this time?
Yeah.
Well, but I think it's interesting because this idea of this time of the year where the Gregorian calendar changes, all of the numerology changes, and then we come up to the new lunar calendar in February 16th. That's got eclipses all over it, stuff like that. This is one of those times. I think it's so important for us to be willing to, I don't know what that looks like yet. Let's just keep showing up. Let's just keep showing up because, and yes, 2026, it is a 10-1 year. And I'm a big supporter for, let's not forget the 10 because that reduces to the 1. The 10 says we are going to be living with the choices that we've made in the path and the journey that we've done before. At the same time, we're starting something new.
Yeah.
Do we decide to use what we've learned appropriately? Do we choose to ignore it? I think it's an interesting thing. So I'm a big supporter of the let's not forget that 10 because that's living with the choices. The 1 is giving us an opportunity to start things perhaps differently than what we have done previously.
Yeah.
So something to consider with that.
Well, and it's such an interesting theme in the sense that, this energy, this psychosis, having to figure it out. I think we can get so caught up in that, even reviewing. Why did I do that? Why did that happen? And we get, bogged down with the mental pressure of especially on the spiritual journey where we feel like we have to transcend these things. It's like, no, this is all part of the human experience. And even in the spiritual journey, we're going to experience these things. So can I give myself that grace and compassion to go, yeah, okay, I went through that. Yeah, that was hard. Yeah, that was my experience. Cool. Now what?
What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? Open and curious, like you always say, Jen, right?
Open and curious is a very good thing. And it's hard to be open and curious at this time because what we have been familiar with is different. And there's big waves, so to speak, in the energy. And whether or not the big waves of energy are reflected in the Schumann and the flares and that, it doesn't matter. If we feel them, because this is the time of the year when you feel those things, then we have to honor that. That is the time of the year when I always get pensive about what do I want to get done this year and why didn't I get all of that done this past year? So, okay.
It is true.
Well, and on that, I know we talked about it last time, and the blog is still there on passengerconsciousness.ca for those who want to check it out. But it goes through all of the transits that we have between now and February, because the energies are such, Gerald, as you were saying, where we might feel like the pull of I have to do this, or I have to, move forward with this. Like we just came through drive and ambition, and yet we're not meant to make resolutions right now, right? So we look at that and go, okay, I'm feeling this pull to do this, but I'm also feeling but I should not yet. Like I'm not quite ready. And so we're in these ebbs and flows of energy. And so it is so important, as you're saying, to honor that, because we're not yet in the off to the races energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm still practicing, because that's the emotional authority thing too, right? We have that sort of pull and we want to jump on something, but we have to ride the wave. So I'm trying to ride the wave these days.
Well, and I think
I am going to rephrase that. I am working on riding the wave as opposed to trying. One of my mentors told me trying is lying, so I'm going to say that I am working on it.
Or you could just say you're riding the wave.
I am.
I think it's one of those things. We have so much pressure in our society, in Western culture, to make New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
If you make New Year's resolutions, okay, but consider them it's a trial period.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do this for, I don't know, maybe 6-7 weeks to see how it goes, and then make my decision. Because Jennifer, you put up a short, it was basically, don't do New Year's resolutions. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yet.
Yet. Don't do it yet. Yet. But I think it's one of those things that if there's nothing wrong with starting something with the intention of adjusting it, because I don't know all of the transits that we're going through now until the middle of February, and I'm not a specialist. I would imagine they're going to be emotion filled, and they're going to be so discombobulating. We don't know where to look, and sometimes we just may want to take a nap.
Yeah,
I highly recommend those.
I highly recommend a nap. I highly recommend, puppy pile. Get your nap on, if it's okay to do that, because part of that is what we would naturally be doing. That's what nature is doing right now.
That's right.
Nature is having this period of going, whew, all that stuff's going on out there. There's still stuff going on in here.
Yeah.
I'm only going to deal with one of those right now.
Yeah, and this season's very much about that sort of internal perspective, like you were saying, being reflective and yet still trying to be in flow, and go with the unknown, because we don't know everything. So, this is true. I would love to change that. And some are, but it's slow going, I think.
It would be nice if, corporate culture allowed for nap time. But yeah, it does not generally yet.
But
welcome, Madam Maria.
Yeah. And Maru, the idea of, it's the practicing of, it's trying it on for size.
Yes.
Am I going to like this resolution? Is this resolution really what I think it is on paper in reality? Because as you were talking about, this is, this inner truth and the realm of not knowing. If we don't know it, but we might think we know it, but then we don't know it, then when we get into it, we get unexpected things, and that's okay,
because we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's the other piece when it comes to resolutions, in the sense that, yes, it is important for us to commit to things and all of that, but with so much of the world manifesting generators, I need to try this on for size before I can give you my yes or no. Right. So I think that it is important to allow yourself to, as Gerald said, be flexible with the energy, allow yourself to ride the wave. And so, maybe instead of being absolutely resolute and I am going to do this come hell or high water, go, this is what I'm doing today and see how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, that felt good. I'm going to do that again tomorrow. Right. And allow yourself to sit in the energy without being rigid with it. And that rigidity, because what ends up happening is the moment that we become really rigid about something, we suddenly put all this pressure on ourselves. And now this thing that felt really good has all of this intensity around it.
Yep.
And then we hit walls. And it's not because we didn't want to do it, but we are programmed for survival. And the moment anxiety shows up, we have programs around that too.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes those programs go, I'm out of here.
True.
Yeah.
True. I always like the idea of New Year's resolutions oftentimes are about fixing something that is wrong. I want to press pause and I want to say to everybody, why don't you look and recognize something that you are skilled at doing, something that is a strength, and give yourself the opportunity and permission to do it more often and to lead with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something, it can be, I remember doing stuff for human resources in development stuff. It's like going, well, if there was a skill that was needed in your job and you were very low at it, you needed to work on that skill.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, the approach that I would take is, okay, you're not very good at this. However, there are other skills that are next to that one skill you need to improve that you're decent at. Then let's lean into those, because then it's it's beneficial. It's not spending a whole lot of time trying to go from 10 miles an hour to 60. It's going, okay, right now I'm going 50 on that skill. If I up it a little bit, then there's going to be a lot of benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Is that making sense to the people who are watching? Give us a thumbs up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and that if you're talking about HR, we're talking about like organizational structuring and stuff. Like you're trying to make sure that you're using people with their skills and like capitalizing on the people that have skills in this area. Make sure they're in this area and not over here. Right? Because it's not good for anybody. Because if somebody's in a job or trying to do something that's just not in their wheelhouse, it doesn't feel good either. If you're always struggling with it, it's one thing to learn. So I like what you were saying, Gerald, about it being like, you're 50 when you need to be 60, right? So if you're 50 in something and you're like 70 in something else, then 70 is where we want you as an organization, because that's where you're going to excel. That's where you're going to be comfortable, right? Doesn't mean you don't learn new things, but I think to focus on the areas of strength. I think that's what you were referring
absolutely
to.
I think I'm focusing on areas of strength, and I don't know, this gate 61, that inner truth, might help us with it if we are willing to look at it and stop trying to overanalyze it. I've never overanalyzed anything. I don't know about the two of you. I've never overanalyzed anything.
Never once.
Never once. But if we can honestly look at something and you go, you know what? I'm decent at this. And being decent at something is absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing when those people who are around us are decent at something requires that we lean into that and say, you know what, Jennifer, I really like the thumbnail that you did. It's joyful. It's exactly what we look at for Twillow Stache. We have to be willing to give that honest feedback about something and go, nicely done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
give credit where due, right?
Absolutely. And this idea too of leaning into our strengths is beautiful because it allows us to be more authentically ourselves. Right? We're not trying to tick a box or be something else. And ultimately, if we were able to, and you know, Tanys, we've talked about this in terms of like the success codex or bringing in like business for human design, that if in an organization we actually looked at it and went, you know what, you really are aligned here and you excel at this, so we're going to put you in this role. And then you actually really excel at this, so we're going to put you in this role. And you right? If we were aligned in that way, it would be beautiful. But because we have to fit these boxes that don't actually fit anything for us, we feel like we have to be this or that. And then we have, you know, things like social media, movies, TV as well, that, you know, put this whole image out there of like, this is what it is to be what, you know, we talked about success last time. And what is that? And it's like, wait a minute. Success for me is being me authentically and completely. That's what success is for me. So I don't need to be you. I don't need to have the same things as you. I don't need to make myself fit your box. Right? So yes, the corporate world is its own beast, if you will.
Yeah.
But in our day-to-day lives, what boxes am I trying to fit into? And what am I trying to figure out to make me better to fit into these boxes, as opposed to what is going to make me authentically me and bring me that joy of living my own truth? Because that is what we can make a resolution for. Right? I want to lean into myself.
Well, and that's, you know, that's the whole spiritual journey, is learning about self. Who are you? What is it that you know, lights you up? What is that you're good at? Those are the things that, you know, that's what human design helps with, and all of these other sort of tools like the codex and all of that stuff. It all helps us just to understand ourselves, right? What do we like? What are we good at? Sometimes we don't know. So asking somebody that you trust and that you can take it from, you know, what am I good at? What am I not so good at?
Ooh, man, that is scary. That is scary AF.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is hard. I mean, you know, I've worked in the corporate world, so to speak, the library where they looked at it as a corporation, and figuring out the Myers-Briggs, the DDI, all of them, all of the tests, and figuring out where people were and getting feedback. That's really hard. That being said, there are some corporations out there that do this well because they recognize there are individuals working for them, that they're individuals who they fit in boxes. And when they're smart, they go, let's move some boxes around and see what hidden talents people don't realize they have. Yeah. And yes, when I was a supervisor, and, you know, pat myself on the back, I was a very empathic supervisor. I could see somebody's skill set. I spent a lot of time recognizing that skill set and telling people, you do this really well. I don't know if you realize that. And then I do that thing that's really annoying to employees. I stop talking and I look at them waiting for a response.
Because then they have to be like, thank
you. And
or no,
well,
I'm not. No.
Well, see, and here's the great thing. Here's the great thing about this. And I would say all three of us have our own experiences with this. What makes somebody unique is really a talent and a skill that they oftentimes grew up with, and they're used to it. They don't understand that other people aren't good with that. There are people in my world who are very good at Excel. I am not one of them, nor do I pretend to be. But and they think that way, and I'm like going, God, you are so good at that. That is great. I'm really good with playing with color. Not everybody is.
Mhm.
It took a while for me to realize, wait a minute, people don't see the world the way I see it.
Yeah.
And when we have that, I don't know if that's an unknowable thing, to where suddenly we go, huh, not everybody is like me, and that's okay.
Mhm.
It releases the pressure a little bit, and it gives us the ability to find people who have things that will help us. It's that collaboration aspect. When we collaborate, we are, collaboration is about mutual benefit.
Mhm. Well, and I love that not everyone is like you, and that's okay, because that's such an important piece. And even, thinking about the transit and the psychosis and the need to figure things out, like how often do we sit with something and go, why did they do that? And then we make up an entire story about why somebody else did something. And then we feel a certain way about the story that we've made up about what somebody else has done. We don't know. And so the more that we can honor the fact that we just don't know, and it's okay that we don't understand why somebody else did something, right? I talk to clients often, and, it's like somebody did something that hurt them. And it's like, I just want to understand. And you don't understand because that's not how you would operate. It's okay that you don't understand why that happened. That's actually a beautiful thing that you don't understand that. Can you honor that and hold space for that for yourself?
Well, and that's where you go back to them, right? In terms of your interactions with people. If you can. I mean, granted, we can't always do that, and sometimes it's not advisable, but certainly in your valued relationships, going back to them and saying, hey, so my mind's putting this whole story, and I don't think it's true. So let's have some shared understanding of what happened here, because I know my mind is not telling me the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that takes a lot of courage and a willingness to be met with someone who's not pleased with the fact that you are pushing back to them, or you're wanting a depth of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back, and Jennifer, I think you and I've talked about this idea before, the intent of the message versus the impact of the message.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those intent versus impact are two very different things. I don't know the impact is what I say is going to have on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I find out that the impact that I've had is different than my intent, given the opportunity to share that, it's really relationship building.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you hear from people that you said this, and boy, that made me feel that made me feel all kind of things like this, I'm first of all going to go, God, thank you for caring about our relationship enough to talk to me about this.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, get me on my soapbox. I think we need more of that willingness to listen to other people and to ask the questions and to shut up and to listen to the answer and try to understand. Was it Stephen Covey? It's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Seek first to understand and then be understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, there's some comments.
There's a couple of comments here. So one person defines how one person defines something differs from others based on their personal filters. Absolutely. And then we've got, yes, I've found that very often the communication becomes misinterpreted by inner dialogue. Absolutely.
Inner
Those
monologue.
stories that are the inner, monologue. Yeah. the inner
Yeah.
stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think doing that is like you said, it requires courage, because we've not always, been met with a beautiful response like you would give, Jer,
Mhm.
right? The thank you for bringing this to my attention thing. And I guess in that way, it's like, let's step into, you're not responsible for their actions in this, you're responsible for your own. And so if you bring it back to them and say, can you help me understand this? And you get a negative reaction, well, you're coming at it from a compassionate way. You've done your due diligence. If they don't respect or they don't reciprocate or receive well,
Mhm.
then that's their responsibility in terms of the relationship. But granted, not always comfortable.
Well,
No.
it's never very comfortable. And if it is comfortable, then I'm curious as if it's authentic,
Mm.
because there's always a bit of scariness to it. And it's like, I remember, and Maru was there during recent series of shows, the duality shows, with Linda Day Gonzalez and Raven Tarot Meditation. We were talking about duality, and it was brought to my attention that it felt like someone was being put down, and I was embarrassed. That was my first response, because that was not my intention. And if that was the impact, I was like going, holy crap. I was embarrassed, because and I recognized it pretty quickly that, oh, this is embarrassing for me. And I may have said something about that.
Mhm.
Because if when you say to somebody, I want us to be good, I value our relationship, I need to check this, and then you say it, and then you can touch base and say, I'm just wanting to verify, because I mean, we can be really helpful to each other, and so let's just talk about this for a minute.
Mhm.
So
And sometimes those regular check-ins, right? Like, Jen, we okay? We doing all right this week? Like, we're good? Yeah. It's okay if we're not. You can tell me offline. We don't have to do that. But
Well, actually, no. but that's the thing. And I think, to what you were saying earlier too, about like having that safe place to do it,
yes.
we have, if we've been through it, there's going to be memory of times where we have put ourselves out there and that's been rejected. It's not received well. It's not responded to well. It's not whatever. And so, Gerald, when you had said like, thank you for caring about the relationship enough, like, I think that that's such an important piece, because even though it's hard, to receive, it's hard for the person to come out and go, hey, when you did this, this is how it felt. And I'd really appreciate it if maybe next time you did this. That's hard to do for anybody.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's such an important piece to hold that space, even when it triggers something for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah.
I was go ahead.
Well, and I think that you bring up the point about safety, right? If we can all try to be that safe space for people to do that, because we all typically have not had that. So we know how important it is, right? If we haven't had that safe space to go to. So I think, and that phrase that you brought up it's beautiful, because it's like, very much, I'm a safe space. Like, I'm really glad that you valued our relationship. And it also shows that you value the relationship, because you're open for that. So I think that's, becoming the safe space for people is truly, truly a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. And is it always going to work? No.
No.
It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be messy. There may be anger. There may be sadness. There may be overwhelm. This is a perfect time to get some professional help and to go, okay, here's what's going on. Because again, the intent versus impact are two different things.
Yeah.
And that's an important aspect of it.
And I think making assumptions too, right? We sometimes make those negative assumptions. That's kind of our go-to for people. It's a bit of a defense mechanism, I think. Somebody says something and we automatically assume they're saying it for a certain reason that's negative. And it probably isn't, like you said, right? Intent.
Well, and this is the thing where, you know, it can have the best intention for something, but if I have a good intention and I say something to you, Tanys, and it hurts you, and you say, hey, can you maybe do it like this? Regardless of my intent, I want to make that shift because I care about that relationship. And so I think that, you know, we can even recognize, like, and we've had that conversation, right? Like, I recognize that you didn't mean anything by what happened. And I know that that wasn't your intention, but I'd still really appreciate it if this could shift. And that's okay, right? Like, we're allowed to say that. And the other person is allowed to respond however they want to respond. But, you know, again, we look at that and go, depending on where we want to take the relationship, we're going to respond differently. And if we're willing to put in that work and effort or not for whoever we're interacting with in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of honesty. You need to be honest with a lot of support, because honesty without support is brutality. If I am being honest with you and telling you the impact of something that you said to me, and this is going to help with the growth. If I'm honest with you and I offer a lot of support, you're going to be more likely to feel that support, and we're going to build that relationship rather than tearing it down. And this is one of those things that, I mean, when we start to recognize the positive things that people do, when we recognize the glimmers that somebody else gives us, we start to see more of those. And people, they're, you know, if I say to somebody, to a cashier, I'm not going, hey, thank you for, you know, for how quickly you got me through the checkout line. Thank you. And they're like, well, it's just my job. And I'm like, and thank you for doing it so well. I appreciate it. And then move on.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing about, you know, I wrote down, I love this. It's the, you know, inner truth in the realm of the unknowable. Well, we don't know the impact that we're going to have on somebody.
No.
Go out there and try to be a positive impact for somebody, but do it authentically. Don't try to force it, because then that stinks.
Authentic and compassionate.
Yes. Yeah. Don't be doing it for the Instagram and all that crap.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this comes back to that authenticity.
Yeah.
Right. Being true to who we want to be. And this is where being present, being in the moment allows those things to be pulled from us. Right? Where we walk into a place, and, you know, I love it too. My eldest is so quick to, oh my goodness, I love your hair. I love your outfit. I love your whatever, to whoever, anywhere. Right? To just see something and be lit up by it, and then having to express that. Right? So allowing ourselves to look for opportunities for that, if that's not something that we're used to doing. Right? Again, reticular activating system, we're going to find what we look for. So if I'm looking for opportunities to be miserable, I'm going to find opportunities to be miserable.
Yes.
If I'm looking for opportunities to find joy in my experience, I am going to find opportunities to have joy.
Exactly. And that's key for this, you know, gate 61, the inner truth, because if we romance the inner truth, we're gonna be excited when we discover something new.
Yes.
And it's going to be invigorating. It's going to go, oh, I didn't know that. how exciting. So
Mhm. I love the way you said that, Gerald. Romance the inner truth, right?
yes.
Like
Yeah, I love
really
that.
spend the time, be, caught up in every moment of I wanna know you more.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and part of that is being quiet and just noticing. It's like for ourselves, how often do we sit with no social media, no devices on, no blue screen, anything like that? How often do we do that? I don't do it as often as I could,
Yeah,
but
same.
that being quiet and just noticing what's going on in one's body is a really important thing, because
Hmm.
this is a this is a great vessel for this inner the inner realm. To that's how we exist. There wouldn't be an inner realm as we know it without the physical body.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So
Well, and even to what you were saying earlier about it's better to understand than be understood,
Hmm.
right? So we recognize that even in this romancing this, to be able to
mhm.
sit and go, I just want to know more. I just want to understand more,
Yep.
but without that preconceived notion of it. And I know, we've talked on here before with human design, and we talked about that, if I think I know you, do I really love you? Which is a big kind of like, oh, wait a minute, what does that mean? And we talked about how that felt to even look at that. But if I believe that I just know you, then I have all these preconceived ideas of everything that's going on with you. But if I can sit in that energy and just go, I want to know more. Tell me more. Let me learn more. Right? Now I'm open to seeing you however you want to be seen, as opposed to how I
Mhm.
have these filters on to see you.
Hmm.
I want to go back to something about that first seek to understand and then be understood. Sometimes, if you really understand, there is no reason for the other to understand you, because you now have a larger perspective, and it gives the ability for me to adjust when I get that. It's like, okay, I I did not know that, and boy, okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if it, it is all about being in the moment. It's about following our intuition. I was thinking this gate 61 sounds a lot like the high priestess.
Mm.
A lot of inner knowing, a lot of inner knowledge, a lot of secrets, a lot
Mhm.
of discovery. And if when we have that opportunity to go, wow, okay, now I understand that, or now I understand that I don't understand, and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
It shifts once we get we're okay with not knowing.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of not knowing at all. So
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's
I'm not.
hard.
I'm sort of in between. I sometimes I like not knowing because you don't have to think ahead. You know what I mean? If I don't know what's coming, I can't think about it.
mhm.
Yeah, but
But
I think it's also, taking it a lot deeper. Not it's not knowing what I'm going to have for dinner or not knowing where I'm doing tomorrow. It's really about, is it okay for me to challenge what I think I know and hold
hmm.
space for more possibility? Right? One of the things that Richard Rudd talks about in the Gene Keys is that for this particular key, to find wisdom, you have to give up knowledge. I
Mhm.
have to give
Yeah.
up the fact that I think I know something in order to expand myself and to see what else is possible. So, I can have an idea of what something is, and then I go into it and self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, look at that. It's exactly what I thought it was. Or I can go into something and go, okay, let's see what happens. And now anything's possible, right? I haven't limited it. I haven't put on those blinders. I haven't made it be one specific thing. And that's the not knowing, right? That's what it's really talking about is, can I be present in this moment with curiosity?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Presence is definitely important in terms of that, right? Because if we can be in this present moment, we don't have all that anxiety about future stuff. We're just now. We don't know what's coming, so we could pretend to know what's coming, but we won't know what's coming. We never do, really.
Yeah.
So.
When I talk to clients about this a lot too, because when we've been through, and again, right, entertainment purposes only, but when we've been through trauma, we get hypervigilant. And our ability to predict how somebody's going to respond gets pretty good, right? Because we're so used to walking on eggshells and noticing all of the finer nuances of things
Mm-hmm.
in order to be safe.
Yes.
The problem is that pattern recognition also causes us to be very stuck in the pattern.
Yeah. And
so part of the healing is letting go of some of that while still maintaining what we need for safety.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that can be really hard because we never have a new experience if we're always seeing it through the same lens.
Yep. Well said.
Yeah, that might be one of those mic drop moments. We never have a new experience if we're looking through the same lens.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Has layers.
Lots of layers. And this is where the psychosis really comes in, because now we think we know. And whatever narrative we've got going on, whatever story we've got going on, that's the only reality we're living in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's all okay because we could, we are human.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if we don't know and we don't understand and we make errors.
Yeah.
It's all about learning.
Yeah. But this energy is a call to let go of some of that, to release it, right? To be able to go, okay, just because I think I know, let me still see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what I don't know is do you have a new deck that you're pulling from for the end of the sessions?
Oh, our home play deck.
The home play?
We've been using the same one.
Okay.
I mean,
you have a suggestion, Gerald?
No, I was just curious. Yeah. Maru said our minds are the only place we have to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Maru, I did get my copy of the Disappointing Affirmations deck.
Oh, okay.
So, Kaylee is thinking of doing an electronic free weekend this summer. Try and completely unplug.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely. I lose my phone sometimes.
Like on purpose or just as an oops?
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose.
Put it down and walk away and go, I don't know where my phone is. Well.
Oh, well. Can't respond today. Oh, well.
I tend not to do it so much when the kids aren't around, but when they are, they can message me, like just be like, hey, Mom, whatever, in the house. Then I'm like, whatever.
Yep.
It's gotten me in trouble sometimes too. It's like, Jen, where are you? You're supposed to be somewhere. Oh, I really lost track there.
I think there might have been a show like that. A very long time ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had a show like that too, so it's okay. I believe mine was with Gerald.
So may I give you a disappointing affirmations?
Yes.
It'll be, it's just, for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
Act as if what you do truly matters. It doesn't, but you can always pretend it does if it helps you feel better about your life. I
Oh
believe
my.
we call that delusion, right?
There's like a double edge to that.
Say more about the devil edge, or the devil edge, or double
The devil.
edge.
Devil edge. I think both work here.
They do.
May I see the card again, please? And I shall
Yes.
elaborate. So act as if what you do truly matters. So if we don't act like it matters, pretend like it does so you feel better about your life. Yes. So acting like it matters. I lost my train of thought. You know that? Acting.
I think I picked it up, actually.
Do you want to elaborate? Because I
So,
lost it.
Here's the thing. What we do does matter. It matters in our own life and our own experience. So to say that it doesn't kind of downplays the fact that there is a purpose and a meaning to what we do. And yet
Yes.
to have this grandiose thought of what I do is going to impact the world. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know that. But if I can act as if it does, then I'm going to be more inclined to do it, as opposed to if I'm in that place of, well, nothing matters, so I'm not going to do anything anyway. So it is beautiful in the sense of going, like, whether it matters or not, just do the thing and then allow yourself to feel good about it. But the whole it doesn't, I think it's just that little part right there, like it doesn't, is part of the card and the joke of the card.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, whether it matters or not, if it matters to you, then it matters. Do it.
That's where I was going with that. So if it matters to you and it helps you feel better, then it matters.
Mm-hmm.
So the it doesn't is like a, I don't know. I have cognitive dissonance around that.
I'm just like,
I think that's the purpose of the cards, though.
Yes, I think so.
yeah. And Maru's like, when it doesn't to anyone else but you, which I would say act as if what you do truly matters. I like that.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. Do it
Mhm.
fully, completely. That's how artists, rebels, conquerors, people who have great wisdom and great insight develop. Do it.
Mhm.
And we may never know the impact that what we do has on other people.
No.
Keep doing it.
Do it anyway. And I love that. Do it anyway. Like, the first book that I put out was the EMDR book for therapists. And I didn't make it for anybody else but myself. I made it because I wanted a resource that I could use with my clients. And then I shared it with another therapist and they were like, oh, this is really good. You should put this out. I think people could really use it.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was done in such a way that it wasn't done for anybody else, but I did it because it mattered to me.
Yep.
And then it mattered.
Yep.
Right. But whether or not anything had come of it, I had something that I was happy that I had for myself.
Mm. And yes, I love what Maru has said there. Our impact shouldn't be our motivation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Boom.
How we feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it light you up? Right?
Yeah.
So that's
and the other thing is we never know what impact we're going to make on people, like you were saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had people, well, even Jen and I, we were at a show, like a trade show one day. And we had this woman come over and she's like, I just love your show. And we're like, you've seen our show? I watch it every week.
The show.
She's a quiet person, so she never commented or anything. So we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know her. So we were like blown away. You just don't know when you make an impact on somebody.
Yep.
And I've had this experience too with clients where, you think you say something really good and you're like, okay, that's going to be their takeaway. And then at the end, they're like, no, this is my takeaway. And you're like, oh, that? okay, cool. Like,
Yeah, I've had
right?
that too.
And it's,
Yeah.
you know, that moment of like, awesome, whatever it is that resonates, whatever it is
Yep.
that flows for you, it doesn't matter what I think about it. And
Yeah.
so, you know, we get very caught up sometimes in that. And I remember, you know, and I even say it with my students and stuff, it's like, there is no right, perfect answer. There is no one thing that's going to resolve everything. Like, it's just about authentically being present. And so,
Yep.
you know, if we are, as that card says, acting as if it matters, regardless of whether or not it really does, then we're going to show up authentically. And
Yeah.
that is the important thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. So are we going to pick one from the same deck?
Well, I have them out. I mean, we can always do a different deck if you guys want. But the card I got is the card that the dogs chewed up.
That one's the one
Awesome.
meant to be.
But it's a fantastic one. Laugh
Yeah.
a big belly laugh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I had to laugh that the dogs chewed up this card, but that's
Definitely.
right. Again, the way that we perceive and how we navigate through. All right, let's see.
So again, we call this home play. It's not work. It is play.
Home play. Laugh a big belly laugh. You have lost your sense of humor, grandchild. It might be time to lighten up. A smile feels good. A chuckle that rumbles in your throat feels even better. But a laugh that makes your belly muscles hurt is good medicine. Laughter is the Creator's language that passes through all the sacred realms, including the Earth realm. It is the Creator's way of communicating with the Earth Mother and all her children. Laughter helps those in the physical realm to know and feel love. Laughter and love go hand in hand. When you experience joy and merriment, love flows into your heart and you are one with the Creator. This is sacred law. You are meant to be joyful and carefree, grandchild. Let yourself laugh loudly, wholly, and completely. Laughter is a deep release, so laugh. Your noisy laughter is a sacred sound to the ears of all creation.
I like that.
So when we are all caught up in here, we can even laugh at that.
We can.
Because so
and
much what it tells us is funny.
Yeah.
Indeed.
If we lose our sense of humor, there's a lot of there is a challenge with that.
Definitely.
Things can be very, very hard, and they are very hard, and it's hard to find moments of laughter. I completely get that. But if we can find that, you know, something silly and something just to laugh about, it does shift our mood.
Definitely.
And it gives us the ability to see things differently.
Mhm.
So, yeah, absolutely.
And just smile. You impact the world.
There you go.
True.
Here we go. What have you got going on, Gerald?
I have a few shows this week. Like and subscribe, because that way you can be in the know. And so that's good. We'll just say it that way. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to all of our channels. They're free. It's free to subscribe. So.
Absolutely. Jen?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I don't have anything else live this week.
I have Galactic Gab.
Oh, we do have Galactic Gab. Okay.
And we have support group.
Yeah, that is on my calendar.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it there. See, I'm so glad that I have you. Because talking about honoring when somebody's good at something, you are so good at keeping the schedule.
Thank you. Thank you.
And keeping me on schedule.
That's why we go well together. Yeah, so we have Galactic Gab on Friday at 7:30. We have support group with Beyond Being Human. At which address, Jen?
Okay. beyondbeinghuman.org/support-groups. So go ahead on there. It is absolutely free. You will be on Zoom with us. It is not recorded. It is not live. It is a safe space to have conversation about this journey, whatever's coming up for you, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for support, it is a great opportunity to connect with others and to just be able to talk freely, openly, and honestly about where we're at, what we're doing, and what we need support with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm giggling it.
Mm-hmm.
That I better keep an eye on you. Don't worry, she keeps an eye on me in other ways. So it's good. It's fair. It's very fair.
I'm too bad. Yeah, I'm like, la, 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 la. I don't know.
Hey, Jacqueline. There's her book.
Jack. Yes. Wealthy Yogini.
Yes. The other thing we have going on is we are starting our next cohort of Peacekeepers of the Light, our Light Warrior program. It starts on Saturday this week. So please reach out if you want more information on that. Okay, you can get a hold of Jen or I on Facebook or any of those things, Instagram, and reach out, or Tanys at twillowlifestyle.ca. Okay?
Nice.
Awesome. Final words, Gerald?
To find wisdom, you have to give up knowledge.
Very nice.
So there you go.
Yep. Jen?
I'm going to Dow it again for a moment here. Not knowing is true knowledge. Perceiving that we know is a disease.
Very good. Proceed with compassion.
Love it.
And that would be where we go. So come on back and join us next week. I also have Infinite Integrations with Jacqueline, who we just saw, on Wednesday at 5. So
Nice.
Beautiful.
yes. So come on out and see us on all of those occasions, and like and subscribe so you know when we're coming on, please. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye.